This is an actual story of how I found my first mentor and what I've learned from him. I'll give you information about how you can find a mentor and why it's important to have one, especially if you're getting into business, entrepreneurship, or just making money in general. This was a little more than 3 years ago. I was a regular person. I was an acceptable student, even though I never really believed in school, and I got into business just 1 year before. My first passion was filmmaking, so that was what I was focusing on the most. I would go to local stores in my city and ask them if they were interested in working with me and creating a video for their business. That was my first door-to-door experience, and to be honest, I didn't even know it was a thing. The kind of business that I would target was bars, restaurants, and similar. In the beginning, it worked pretty well, but as soon as I tried to raise prices, I couldn't find clients anymore. So what I did was reach out to people on the internet. I tried Facebook, Instagram, everything. Nobody was willing to pay me to create videos for them, not even for just the editing, and I didn't know why. I was struggling. Then, one day, while I was browsing the internet, I came across a video about closing people over the phone. It was just a video of a guy trying to teach people how to sell, become a top salesman, all that kind of thing. I was fascinated by all the techniques that he was describing, by his confidence, by the way he talked, and at that moment, I decided to quit filmmaking and get into selling, and I have to admit, it was pretty difficult. I thought to myself, if I can learn how to sell, I'll get clients, I'll close for them, and then I'll just make a bunch of money. That was it. That was the plan. After 1 or 2 months of learning on the internet, I failed again. No one was willing to work with me. Almost no one was even responding to my proposals, emails, and messages. And those who did just told me they weren't interested. Imagine being rejected daily, both in person and on the internet. It was just exhausting, and I wanted to quit. I didn't know what I was missing, what I needed to succeed. I would later find out that the missing piece was a mindset, confidence, goal setting, and clarity. But I had no idea about these things. I was just trying to sell people on working with me, and as a salesman, I wasn't good at that. I was just about to give up and try filmmaking again, but I got extremely lucky. One of the job posts that I had responded to received an invitation. I was so thrilled that the guy even acknowledges me since I had completely lost hope. Let's call him Christian. The position he was offering was a full-time salesman. It wasn't the best job in the world. It was exhausting. He was the founder and CEO of an already established social media marketing agency. If you don't know anything about those agencies, they basically use proven marketing techniques to help businesses and entrepreneurs reach more clients with paid marketing. We're talking about stuff like Facebook ads, Google ads, Instagram ads, and so on. This field is pretty successful, especially now, but at the time it wasn't trending so much. So we didn't have as much competition as one would have today. My job was to call businesses all around the country and sell them one of the 3 main packets that the company was offering. The first packet was $5,000, the second one was $10,000, and the premium packet was around $17,000 with some extra optional bonuses like content creation, website management, and things like that. All I needed to do was sell the product, and then I would get a pretty interesting commission of 20%. This means that if I sold a $10,000 packet, I would get $2,000 cash, days after the deal was closed and the client signed the contract. This sounds very good, doesn't it? But in reality, it was way, way harder than I thought. So I got the job. I talked to Christian a couple of times, met him to talk about the packets, the targeted businesses, and so on. This guy made more money than I could think of, and he was still hungry to grow his business and keep growing. He had excellent communication skills, and for some reason, he trusted me enough to train me and teach me everything about selling over the phone. It took him about 2 months to teach me everything. He even made me read books on success and mindset. He made me read 2 books a week, and I would role play with other salespeople daily. Then, he told me that I was ready to begin calling businesses. The target was any real estate agency, anywhere in the country. I would literally go into the yellow pages and start calling random businesses. I would make at least 250 calls every day. It took me 2 to 3 weeks to close my first client. If you know anything about sales, you know that you almost never close on the first call. You need to continuously follow up, and I'd say that on average, it takes 4 to 5 calls to close a real estate agency. Obviously, it does depend on their level of urgency, the time, and the reason. But on average, you never close a cold lead with less than 3 calls. That's how I found my first mentor. But this wouldn't be practical wisdom if I didn't deliver some value to our viewers. So first, I want to talk to you about the lessons that I've learned from Christian. Lesson number 1, get hungry. The first time I met him, he explicitly told me that he was looking for hungry people. He told me, I can't train attitude, but I can train skill. That means that you can teach anyone the job, but you can't teach motivation. The thing is, I was hungry for money, but that's all I had. I didn't have precise goals or a specific reason why I wanted more money in my life. So the motivation was there, but it could be amplified, and that's what he taught me with the books he told me to read. I learned that you need to link your financial goal to a why, to your purpose in life. I learned that money isn't enough as a reason to live. You need a mission, and you need to constantly be working on bettering yourself. One thing that kept me hungry while working with Christian was the fact that the only way to make money with him was to make him money. I would only get paid on results delivered. No bonuses, no base income, nothing. All I had was that commission, and there was no limit to the amount of money that I could make. It was 100% up to me. Lesson number 2, get rid of negative people. When he first interviewed me, he told me to talk about my friends. I was like, that's a weird question. Who cares about my friends? At the time, I had no idea how important that was. You see, you're the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. If these people aren't positive, aren't making you a better person, and have bad habits, guess what? You'll become just like them. People have a heavy influence on who you are, believe it or not. One of the hard decisions that I needed to make in order to keep working with Christian was to end all relationships with negative or unproductive people. This was pretty brutal, not gonna lie, but it was a huge advantage on all the other salespeople who couldn't leave their group of friends. Lesson number 3, value will make you money. The position that I had forced me to deliver value to the agency that I was working for. I'd either do that or I wouldn't make any money. The philosophy is that you receive as much as you give. In other words, the more value you give to the marketplace, the more money you'll earn. But what do I mean by value? Well, it depends. You see, value could be anything that clients might consider valuable. In the case of Christian, to him, a high-paying client was valuable. So for me to deliver value to him, I had to close clients. If you're working as a video maker, value equals the quality of what you're creating. So value might sometimes not be calculable with numbers. It might even be helping someone do something. The point is, the more value you give, the more people will be willing to pay you to receive that value. This is the one most important principle of entrepreneurship, and I'm glad I've learned that while selling high-ticket items before starting my own company. Number 4, closing. Well, I learned how to close people. If you're in business, it isn't just recommended. You must know how to sell and persuade. If you don't, forget about starting a business or being a freelancer. You must know how to sell yourself. Your ideas, a product. Otherwise, you'll fail. We made a video on this. It contains all the basics of selling anything to anyone. You might want to check that one out. So, how do you find your mentor? My experience has taught me that having a mentor isn't mandatory, but it seriously speeds up the process of developing the mindset and skills necessary to unlock one's true potential. It also helps you being responsible and always feeling hungry, since you're working with people at a higher level. Here's how you can find your mentor. First, develop a skill. Many try to find a mentor like the world owes it to them. That's false. The world owes you nothing, and entrepreneurs don't have to teach you anything. To even get their attention, you need to have something to offer. In my case, I offered my basic knowledge in closing and my communication skills, as well as perseverance and proof of positive attitude. However, this might not be what your mentor is looking for. The goal is to get to work for them, get noticed for your perseverance, and then ask them for some of their time. You could, for example, offer them dinner or something similar. Just don't act like you're entitled to their time. Truth is, you're not. What a mentor looks like. A mentor isn't just anyone that has money. It has to be someone that's in a position that you want to be in, someone that already has done or is already doing something that you want to do. But they have to be active, hungry, and still hardworking. For example, you can't just pick a retired entrepreneur in his 60s and expect him to give you up-to-date value. You have to find someone that not only you can relate to, but that you also enjoy and truly respect. Where you can find one. Finding a mentor isn't easy. It's so hard that you have to spend weeks before you can even consider someone. Here are some tips that might increase your chances of finding someone. Participate in your industry events. Socialize, meet new people, network as much as possible with people that matter and that make a difference. Participate in live seminars. This one is awesome, especially if the seminars aren't huge, since hosts usually hold live Q&As and even meet and greet sessions. Work for them, apply for jobs, bring them value. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you'll find your mentor, since it can seriously speed up the process of achieving your goals. Surround yourself with positive people and make new friends. People who know people are the best kind of people. For now, thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.